It's so asymmetric. I mean, it misses the point totally. You know, is Vladimir Putin likely to be really deterred, much less traumatized by the prospect of, you know, some of his officials being punished? I don't think so. What we've got here is essentially something incredibly fundamental to the security of Europe and possibly beyond Europe, something more dangerous than anything we've encountered since perestroika. So, in the first place, what has to be said loud and clear is that Russia was a party to the Treaty of 1994 by which Ukraine sacrificed its nuclear weapons in return for inviolable guarantees of its territorial integrity. So, you know, here we are in a kind of 1930s scale of contempt for a security treaty.
Do you think then, by evoking the 1930s, that we are going through a new form of appeasement with this?
Yes. In short, I mean, I think the trouble is, you know, of course the Russians aren't Nazis. I mean, the analogy isn't that crude. But what does seem to me not to be totally beside the point is that the experience with Germany was that there was an ex-empire that felt itself to be humiliated, deprived of territories that had long been German. The mass psychology of vindication on the street is what's all about Vladimir. It accounts for Vladimir Putin's incredible popularity.
But one of the key mysteries in all this is, what does Vladimir Putin actually want? And I'd like to know what you think about this. I mean, do you think that he is convinced that he's been put on earth by God as a sort of messianic figure in an exceptional country to right the wrongs against Russia that have been perpetrated not just in the last 20 years, but forevermore?
You're so eloquent, Matt. All I have to say is yes.
Good. Let's move on to the next question.
And I think that's part of it. And I think the worry about that is that the appetite grows with the eating.
So if the appetite keeps growing, as you're afraid it will, what should the West do? I mean, are we wrong by saying that the military option is off the table? Should we keep it on the table?
Well, you know, the military option in terms of deploying troops, you know, forget about that. I mean, it's not going to happen. There's a possibility, and it's more dangerous than a kind of conventional war, is if, for example, Estonia or Lithuania or Latvia really want to have now hard-edged weapons. Are we talking, you know, theater nuclear weapons? We might be stationed really in their countries in order to deter the possibility of reconstructing the Soviet empire. What do we do about it? I certainly don't know the answer to that, but that, you know, that has to be the nature of the prescient, you know, discussions about where a true security, what is the boundary of the true security barrier of the ex-Soviet empire, and how is it truly to be defended?